but really want to talk about what are you trying to do? Did you set any resolutions? 41% of Americans, according to Google, 41% of Americans are setting New Year's resolutions, but 9% are only reporting at the end of the year that they've accomplished something. So there's a huge void there of setting that resolution and then following through with it. And what are some of the reasons why how we can follow through so that we can be one of the 9% that at the end of the year we can say that we really accomplished something and kind of hold ourselves accountable. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Tim here with the TMA Connection, a local podcast focusing on life, community, and real estate. And today we're kind of throwing all three in there because, hey, it's Happy New Year, right? 2023, we made it, and 2022 is in the past. Some of us, doing really good things in the past few years, and some of us wanting to do greater things in 2023. And so today's podcast is solo. We really don't have a guest to show, but really want to talk about what are you trying to do? Did you set any resolutions? 41% of Americans, according to Google, 41% of Americans are setting New Year's resolutions, but 9% are only reporting at the end of the year that they've accomplished something. So there's a huge void there of setting that resolution and then following through with it. And what are some of the reasons why how we can follow through so that we can be one of the 9% that at the end of the year we can say that we really accomplished something and kind of hold ourselves accountable. So today's kind of a three-part thing. It's going to be really talking about ways that we can achieve some things that really helped us out in 2022. And then what are you striving for in 2023? How can we help? And, if it is buying and selling a home, sure, we can be there for that. Would love to help you out with that. But I'd love to help anybody out that's trying to achieve something. I think that journey there is just something that's special and certainly, helping you out, whether it's through accountability or giving, some ideas. I mean, I'm not an expert by any means. We're all trying to get through this life the best that we can, and sometimes we have bad days and sometimes we have good days, and we're just trying to get more good days than bad days. And when we have the bad ones, we're not going to try to beat ourselves up over it. We're just going to rise with the sun and try again. So let's talk about that. In 2022, we had some great achievements in our business and our life and our fitness and stuff like that. And some of the things that really helped me before we actually go into what those are, maybe I'll use those as examples, is the first thing is wrote them down so that they're on paper, they're out of your head and they're on paper. And then furthermore, what I did was I kept that paper and I would read them not every morning, most mornings. Most mornings I get in touch with what my goals are and what are the things that I need to do to align myself to those goals, which are kind of like the daily habits. But I write it out and then read it almost every day so that, you set a New Year's resolution, and then if you haven't written it down and if you don't refer back to it, it's gone, right? So writing it down, reading it every day, being specific, so a lot of times the experts, tell you to quantify it, try to set a quantifiable goal. And I find that the ones that we do put a specific number on, we have a better way of measuring it. And so instead of just saying, hey, I want to, get to the gym, it's, well, do I want to get to the gym 3 days a week, 4 days a week? Do I want to, how long am I going to exercise for? Or, if I'm trying to, control what I'm eating, and eating healthier, it's all about counting, using a fitness app like MyFitnessPal to record the amount of calories that you're taking in versus the calories that you're expending and stuff like that. Or maybe it's financial, looking at specifically, like if you have debts and you kind of organize them in a certain way so that you're constantly keeping track and making progress through that measuring will definitely give you direct feedback as to whether you're on the right path or not. So another thing that really helped me was like starting with the big goal, like setting the long-term goal, and then there you go, right in the middle of the podcast, getting a sales call. That's great. We might need to edit that one out, or maybe we won't. But looking at the long term and then dividing that up into what are the small, minute things that I have to do on a daily basis to create what I want to do in the long term. I think sometimes what we just look at the long term and say, I want to lose X amount of weight, or I want to pay off, or I want to make X amount of money. But what are the daily habits or the things that we can do regularly within our routine to make that happen? Because if we set it so big and we don't narrow it down to the small activities, I think we probably we tend to lose interest. We try to, it almost seems impossible. Last year, one of my big things, and I know we put it out there on social media a lot, was that I participated in a program called 75 Hard from Andy Frisella. And it was this kind of rigorous 75-day journey that, you had to eat healthy, you had to work out twice a week, twice a day. And one of those workouts needed to be outside, whether it was rain or shine. You had to drink water, no alcohol, no soda, reading a professional or personal development book for 10 pages and posting a progress picture every day. And if you didn't do one of those activities, you had to start all over at day one. So right there, that unit of measure was, if you didn't feel like doing something, you had to start all over. And sometimes that happens to people. Now, for me, the longer you got into it, man, the less of the chance that I was going to actually, not do one of those activities, because I'd be darn sure that I was not going to start at day one again. But regardless, in what I'm trying to say with that 75 hard is, I wanted to get to day 75, but I needed to focus on the small things every day that would ultimately get me there. But if I thought about the end without thinking about just what was right in front of me next, I probably wouldn't have made it. So it was just like, getting out the door at night. And my second workout was walking at night for 45 minutes. And just getting out the door, not focusing on how much weight I was going to lose at the end of the journey, but just getting out the door and getting on with what I had to do. That was the short-term small goal. And if you stack those over a long period of time and you're constantly achieving these micro steps or these micro goals, it's going to keep you motivated, especially on those days when you don't want to do that because you've done so much. So don't think so much as the big picture as breaking it down into smaller steps, because it's easy to hit a smaller step than it is just to jump to the big step. It'll never happen. So, all right, let's talk about some other ones. Telling somebody, having somebody hold you accountable. Part of that 75 Hard program was me taking a progress picture, and now I only used it to Instagram stories, but that, people would comment, and people would, reach out and say, great job, and those kind of things, like, keep you fueled. Currently right now there's two different people, and they shall remain nameless. But one's a real estate agent at a different brokerage. And at the end of every evening, she emails me just to tell me that she did her exercise for the evening. And And that's held her accountable, and she's seeing results, because a lot of times we'll do things for other people, but we won't do it for ourselves. So communicating with somebody that you're doing something is going to hold you more accountable to doing it, because you're afraid of letting them down. Another person that's in the lending world, in mortgage, wanted to get to the gym, and so I became his accountability partner. And when he gets to the gym, he feels like he's gotten there because he doesn't want to let me down. And on the days when he can't, because sometimes life gets in the way, you can just kind of tell, like, he's kind of disappointed in himself. But then he's also says, well, I'm going to go in the evening, and he gets takes care of business that way too. So having somebody hold you accountable will help you get there as well. And tracking your progress, through journaling, through record keeping. One of the things that I was doing in 2022 was paying down some debt and just focusing on that. Not every day, but definitely on Sundays, sit down, see what we had to pay off, have a little bit of extra money, pay that down a little bit. If you know who Dave Ramsey is, Financial Peace University, I think is what it's called. He has a podcast. A great way to pay down debt is to listen to Dave Ramsey and hear what he has to say about that. But overall, sometimes you're just going to, fall off that proverbial wagon, and you just got to get back on, because if you just let your emotion kind of go and talk negative to yourself and call yourself a bad person for not following through, you got to give yourself some grace. And that's, what it's all about, because you're not always going to succeed. You got to take the time to forgive and get back on it. So our goals for 2023, we've got some business goals and some life goals, and I want to put it out there because I want you to hold me accountable. In our real estate business, I've found that a good measure of what we need financially for our family, for the business, and the life that we want to live is to get to at least 50 transactions. If there's more, that's great, but sometimes more is not always better, because it can certainly take a lot of joy or time and energy away from family. And of course, our why to everything that we're doing is to create a good life for family. And our 3 girls and my wife, and give experiences and stuff like that. But if you're always working, it's very difficult to enjoy those moments. So we found kind of a good balance of 50 transactions seems to be where that magic number is. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. So every year, that's kind of our goal, is to get to 50. We have been growing our social media. We've been growing specifically on our podcasts that we've been putting out between myself and Jay, who's our producer. We put out 27 podcasts in 2022. We're looking to double that for next year for 52. Well, actually, doubling it would be 54. So we'll shoot for that 52. That's like one a week. And to put out more content there, but not only to put out the content, but to actually drive people to check that out. So if you want to see more of this and you feel that this brings you value, subscribe to us on any podcast platform that you find. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Another goal, another metric that we're trying to improve is the amount of subscribers. At the beginning of 2022, we had about 75. About a week ago, we surpassed 200. And so we're growing on YouTube. And so what we want to do again is we want to increase that number and try to double that. So we're trying to go for 400 subscribers by the end of this year. So, and hopefully we can get there. So again, if you're on YouTube and you see this video, please subscribe to us there. And that just helps, it helps grow the message out there and the things that we're trying to put out there. And hopefully help some other people as well. Kind of cool, real quick, helping put people out is the 75 hard that we did back in 2022. I just got an email this morning from somebody in real estate in the title business, and somebody in their office saw what I was doing and kind of sparked the motivation for them to start. And they've recently started the 75 hard too. So shout out to who you are. Super proud of you. And if you need anything, certainly don't hesitate to reach out. We're also looking to get more downloads on the podcast. So again, we're on Apple, Spotify. We're trying to get to at least 2,000 downloads in 2023. So it's a stretch, but I think we can do it. And then the other thing that we're really focusing on is giving back in our client appreciation events. This was a goal in 2022, and we did 1. The goal was 4, so we're keeping that goal at 4, and we want to try to do 1 quarterly. So, so in January, we are having a bowling event for all of our past and present clients, and it's just a way to get everybody together and just give and hopefully link some charity to that as well, so that we can help raise money for good causes and just do good things for good people. And so if you're one of our clients, you've already been communicated out about that, and hope that you can join us. And if you can't join us on one, maybe you can join us on another one. We try to mix it up so that there's family events and there's adult events and everything like that. So that's what we're looking forward to do in 2023. And now that I'm putting it out there, I expect you to hold me accountable so that we can actually do these things as we focus on them on a daily basis. Personally, again, we're trying to pay down some debt, and we're getting close. But we still have a little bit ways to go. So, our family has some financial goals that we're trying to accomplish. And then for me personally is my fitness goals and trying to accomplish them for this year. And so still got a little bit to go with what we're doing. And so I got some fitness goals as well. So what are you working towards? And it's okay if you're not working towards anything. It doesn't make you a bad person if you're not trying to achieve something. But I think everybody out there is trying to live a better life. And so in the comment section below, if you feel compelled to, just put something out there that says, hey, this is what I'm doing for 2023, and this is what I want to try to accomplish. And if there's any way that we can help you, real estate or otherwise, especially holding, accountability and stuff like that. Something as simple as sending me an email at the end of a day to say, hey, I did what I said I was going to be doing. We would absolutely love to help you out. And again, if this has brought you any kind of value, please share it and help us grow our community. And that's about it for today. So solo, man, I tell you what, that's a lot of talking. And so follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Markland Advantage. Follow us on YouTube at the Markland Advantage. And we are also on TikTok at TMA Real Estate. And we're growing that as well. And so we're going to be putting a lot of great content out there this year. I really hope that you could follow us. Got some great guests coming up. I already got 4 interviews lined up for the month of January. And we're going to be releasing a new one coming next Tuesday. So a lot of great things being put out there. And if you in the community, if you're watching this and you're doing something great, or you're part of an organization or a business that is doing something that's helping others, we would love to help promote that. And so please feel free to message us on whatever platform you're currently watching this in, and or listening. And it would be phenomenal to assist in getting the word out for you. So it's all about community. It's all about connection. It's the TMA connection. Until next time, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care.